Okay, this is call to order for the IDA regular board meeting, June 25th. Approximate time is 1:13 p.m. Can we get a roll call?
Director Fall,
Yes.
Director King,
Present.
Director Neal, Director Seward,
Here.
Director Zarelli, and Chair Young.
Aye. Next, we'll have approval of the minutes from our last meeting, May 8th. Could I get a motion from
So
the
moved.
directors? Second?
Second.
It's been moved and second that the minutes from our previous meeting be approved.
Director Fall,
Yes.
Director King,
Aye.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Aye.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Director Seward,
Aye.
Director Zarelli, and Chair Young.
Aye. Aye. Now we'll hear Resolution 25 IDA 07.
I'm gonna share my screen here. They have a presentation. Mr. Larry, you can start whenever you're.
Oh, I think Michelle is gonna go through her introduction.
Oh,
and
that's
then we
right.
can-
Sorry.
You want me to go over my memo?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you can hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. This project is for Delmar Divine Phase 2. This is the initial approval and inducement resolution for multifamily housing revenue bonds. And the resolution number is number 25 IDA 7. Bond amount is up to $30 million, and the funds will be used to purchase, construct, extend, and improve an 81-unit multifamily housing development located at 5558 Enright. And the total project cost is approximately $51 million. There is additional public assistance in the form of federal low-income housing tax credits, federal historic tax credits, state historic tax credits, an MSD grant, an LCRA loan, and there will be a sales tax exemption on construction materials. A tax abatement has been approved for the project as well. SLDC has received a letter of support from Alderwoman Keys. The developer is Delmar Divine Developer LLC, which is an affiliate of Seneca Commercial Real Estate, and the borrower will be Delmar Divine Phase 2 LLC. Lipton, which is a division of Involve, is going to be the project manager, and bond counsels Waylon Watson and Bill Burns of Gilmore and Bell. The bonds will be underwritten by Stifel, and they're expected to be publicly offered initially and will be purchased by Cedar Rapids Bank and Trust after completion of a construction pursuant to a forward bond purchase agreement. And Delmar Divine Phase 2 is the conversion of the remaining buildings of the historic St. Luke's Hospital into 81 affordable units. It'll be a full gut renovation of 4 buildings. It will consist of units ranging in size from 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. There's going to be 7 studio apartments, 68 1-bedroom, 2 2-bedroom, and 4 3-bedroom units. And the developer plans to spend an average of $393,000 per unit in renovation. And the units will be serving low-income families earning less than 60% of AMI. And that's for all 81 units. And the tenants will also have access to the Delmar Divine Phase 1 amenities. And Delmar Divine Phase 1 opened in 2021, and it includes 33 nonprofit tenants, 150 apartments, and a retail storefront. And the cost of it was $89.75 million, and those apartments are currently 95% leased. And we have a presentation by the developer on the project for you.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay, I hope? Good. Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate the intro. My name is Larry Chapman. I'm the manager of both Delmar Divine Phase 2 LLC, the owner, and Delmar Divine Developer, the developer, and I'm the president of Seneca Commercial Real Estate. I'm going to take a step back. We did a little slideshow. This information is available to you. I understand Lauren will send you the slideshow when we're done here. There's some paper copies here for the handful that have shown up so they can look at it as we go through. I want to take a quick step back and talk about Delmar Divine Phase 1. Could you go to the next slide? So Delmar Divine is really the brainchild of Maxine Clark. I don't know if you know Maxine. She created the Delmar Divine Charitable Foundation, the whole idea of which was to take this project and create a socially responsible development that would pull economic activity north of Delmar Boulevard. You know, the Great Divide was really Delmar for ages and ages, and we're trying to change that. And I have to tell you, what Maxine and the rest of us have done so far has really been quite remarkable. Would you go to the next slide, please? We took the old St. Luke's Hospital, originally constructed, the first building, there's actually 17 buildings on top of buildings in here if you got down into it, but the very first building was done in 1904. As Michelle said, we've got 150 residential units, and then the commercial space, which is focused basically on collaborative and not-for-profits and other socially responsible organizations. Could you go to the next slide? And I would suggest to you that the results have been quite remarkable. This is a picture of what it kind of looked like when we took over. Obviously not in the greatest of condition. Could you jump to the next slide, please? And really what we've done is kind of converted it into an icon. We've created outdoor courtyards in between. The photos on the left are the entrance to the commercial portion. If you go to the next slide. And this is an exterior picture of the renovated building. Obviously, it's historic. We needed to make it look like it was before. But if you can see the porte cochere on the front, that was a big wing of building that went all the way out to Delmar and housed a bunch of first-story improvements that went around the corner. That was all pulled off. We took it back to what it was in like 1950 and 1960. And that's what you're seeing here today. I would encourage you to go by if you have the chance. Next slide, please. Michelle alluded to the fact we've got 30 office tenants, 5 of which are retail, and huge amounts of co-working space. The thing to make this work is there's 114,000 square feet of office space, but another 50,000 square feet of space that everybody can use for collaborative efforts, from conference space to meeting space to just ways to collaborate better. And the other thing we have is a number of things that we didn't think we'd get at first, but we've got a pharmacy. I think this is the first pharmacy within about 5 or 10 miles of this place. We have an urgent care facility. We can't think of another one anywhere near here. We've got an Edward Jones office that is knocking it out of the park because nobody had anybody to talk to about investing. And we've got the Deli Divine, which is a New York style deli. And again, if you haven't been able to get by there, I would recommend to do it. It's pretty darn good. Would you go to the next slide, please? So one of the things that's happened because of Delmar Divine is just the traffic and the activity. You know, when the St. Luke's Hospital was closed down, it was called Connect Care at the time. It was back in 2013. It basically sat vacant, and we took over the project in the late 2018-19. And then since then, we opened in 21 and 22 in 2 phases, and everything leased up as fast as we could open it. And Michelle is saying 95% occupied. That's true, but we're always filling it up. It's rolling over. We've never had any significant occupancy. And the foot traffic has risen from about 165 people when we opened over 1,000 people a day. Next paragraph. The other thing that's happened is the neighborhood's just gotten safer. Crime has gone down quite substantially from where it was. And we think that this project and the ones that have sprouted up around it have a lot to do with that. Next slide, please. We have an incredible impact. It turns out that these tenants that we have and the people who work here and visit here come from all over the St. Louis metropolitan area. And that's one of the reasons we've had the economic impact we've had, which I'll touch on in just a moment. But in addition to over $90 million of investment now, it's gone up, Michelle, since the last number you got. We now have visitors that went from 30,000 a year in 21 to over 142,000 a year now, which are people working and visiting this facility. Next paragraph. So again, original phase was about 90 million of new investment so far, 150 fully occupied apartments. We have the office, the collaborative space, and this is just a regurgitation. But I think one of the most important things we had done was PGAV. If you know the planning firm PGAV, you probably got reports from them before. PGAV did an independent study, and it shows that in this project alone, we've generated another $1 million in city earnings tax just from the people who've now moved and now are employed here. So what's next? Next paragraph. So what we're going to do is you can see the blue shaded area over the left. That's the old nurses' quarters and the college for the nurses of the school. And we're about to convert that into the next phase and what Maxine calls completing the dream, which we really believe in. We'll be taking the former nurses' quarters and improving that. And then we're going to create something that's called community service facility. We learned that we can leverage our tax credits by doing something we've already been doing. There's a concept called community service facility, and basically we have to operate things in there that are for the benefit of the community, not just the project. And so we'll have Coach Griffin teaching youth how to do basketball. We'll have a bunch of services like everything from gymnastics to music lessons. And then we'll also have specialized providers of care that the neighborhood people can take advantage of. So we're excited about that. If you go to the next slide, please. And so this is some of the renderings of what we see inside. The amenities are going to be quite expanded. We'll have an operable gymnasium. We'll have a outdoor area that'll have some pickleball courts and some meeting areas and some picnic space, and then conference rooms that are available to the community to use on an as-needed basis. Next paragraph. So this is a rendering of the completed facility. The buildings closest to you down to the left represent the 8 stories of residence. And then you can see the gymnasium, the lower 2-story building that will have some residential component on the top floor on the east side. Next slide. So to recap, it's about $50 million plus of additional investment. PGAV predicted that doing this will increase the revenues to the city by 50 to 70% over phase 1. And then we talked about the community service facility, which is something designed to really help the community at large. Next, please. So this is a recap. I think Michelle touched on this. I've gone through this stuff very quickly. If you'd like to ask questions, please do. I'd be happy to answer them. Next slide. And then we have a recap of some of the stuff Michelle touched on. We're looking for a bond resolution for $30 million, not to exceed. Some of the other public assistance. Some of our financing partners include Bank of America, Cedar Rapids Bank and Trust, National Trust Community Investment Corporation. And we'll pick one of the 3 people going to do the bridge loan. We'll know that very soon. Our goal is to commence work immediately. And by immediately, I mean August, and be done in September of 2026. That's all I've got, subject to your questions. See any hands raised, Lauren?
Yes. Director Fall has a question.
Hi, sir. I have just a couple of questions. In the packet that was sent out to us prior to this meeting, that has all the application materials, and it had a folder of deficiencies that looks like were incomplete tax form authorization forms 8821. Have those been rectified? Do you know?
Bill, I think we've gotten that done. I didn't do it. Can you respond to that, please?
So I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the 8821s are. Is James Morrow on?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm not familiar with that document either. That may be related to an MHDC application.
Yeah, it's a tax authorization it's an IRS form, and it is related to that Missouri Housing Development Commission's application, but it was in our packet as something marked as a deficiency. So that's why I wanted to follow up on it.
To my knowledge, we've given MHDC everything they've asked for by now. They've asked for a lot. We keep sending more in. I can't think of anything that has been filled out, but I'd be happy to take a look at that document specifically and get a response to you.
Okay, I appreciate that. And then the other question I had has to do with the construction of the project. I know this is a community facing project that has a lot of different goals in it. And I saw as a developer, I saw the commitment to the city's ordinance on MWBE participation, but I didn't see anything about a commitment to the city's living wage or the city's commitment to paying prevailing wages on construction projects such as these. Can you speak to that?
Right. So just to make that, so Perrick Corporation is our general contractor. The entire job will be an all-union job. They will meet all the prevailing wage requirements of the city and all the other entities we're dealing with, including all the MBWB requirements that the city of St. Louis has. They've been doing this a lot. It's one of the reasons we chose them. They're very good at it.
Oh, no, and I'm very familiar with Perrick. So do I take that to mean that you as the developer is making sure that Perrick is making sure their subs are complying with prevailing wage obligations for this project?
Yes, we will. And there's a lot more stuff we're going to make them responsible for, but yes.
I'm sure they do a great job, and I'm sure they're being paid well for it. So they better deliver what you're asking, I guess.
Exactly. Very good.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Just one quick question. Is this the final phase of the project?
Yes, it is. It is the final phase. There's no more real estate after this. So we'll be completely done, thankfully.
And who will be the manager of the property?
Well, Eval will be the manager of the residential component. Right now, Bulky Brown's the manager of the commercial. That may or may not change, but we need them for compliance with the affordable housing requirements.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, directors? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion that.
Oh, sorry, I had one more
Sure.
about the location. Is this Alderwoman Keyes ward, or is this in Alderwoman Clark Hubbard's ward?
Yes, it's the first one. We've changed so many because when we started, this was actually the former mayor's ward. So, yeah, it is. And the first one,
Okay, because I see I see something, and again, I know that I agree with you. The lines are relatively new to me. I'm more familiar with my own ward. But this is and I see a letter of support from Carla May, from Mayor Jones. I see a letter of support from Ms. Keyes, and I wasn't sure. That's why I asked it, because I didn't see one of
yeah.
Clark Hubbard, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, but if she is not the
No,
alder.
she's not. It's not Hubbard. I didn't personally, but we had other people meet with everybody involved along the way to make sure they knew what was going on. Maxine's done 90% of that work. She's in that neighborhood, lives there every day, and meets with everybody on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I see a letter written from the organization to Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, is why I asked, but I didn't see anything back.
Well,
But I could be missing it.
Well, with the whole Delmar Divine concept goes all the way down Delmar, it runs into her ward as well. I mean, the whole organization that tries to keep this whole neighborhood together runs pretty far east of here. And so I'm pretty sure she's involved in a number of things that Maxine does regularly. And I got to believe she knows everything we're doing at that project.
Okay, and I see Shamim Clark Hubbard. I do see one dated back from 22, and I know this has been going on for a while, so that makes sense to me. And I don't see anything of her withdrawing that support, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Director Young, I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, it's been moved and who's a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and second that resolution 25 IDA 07 be approved.
Oh, I think I have to do a roll call.
Okay,
Director Fall,
Yes.
Director King,
Yes.
Director Seward,
Yes.
Director Zarelli,
Yes.
and Chair Young.
aye.
All right.
Terrific. Thank you
Motion
all very much. Have a great day, everybody.
You as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else,
After the meeting.
Laura?
When do you think
Oh.
you'll do the bond issue?
Sorry,
Oh, Director,
Think you'll issue the bonds?
quickly as we can, as fast as the lawyers will let us.
All right.
We anticipate this will be coming back on the July 8 meeting
Fine.
for issuance resolution,
Okay.
and then closing by the end of July.
But first week August, but
Yeah.
we've got a Bank of America issue we're working out, might slide up 1 week, but we'll be fine.
Right.
We're trying to go. I don't know if you all know this, but the census tract around this area changed. It went from being qualified to no longer being qualified, and so we've got some incentives or tax credits that change after December 31st, 2026. We have to be done by then. So we're on a fast pace right now.
And for clarity, I said July 8, I meant July 17.
Yeah, thank you. You want to ask your question again? I'm not sure everybody heard. She asked me to, I guess, re-answer the question.
yeah, if you want.
I mean, basically, the question was about timing, and the timing was as fast as the lawyers will let us, was kind of my answer, as fast as they can move. And we're trying to get started by the 1st of August. If we can, we may actually start doing work this month and pull the permit and go ahead and get some demo and some environmental work done, because there's always leftover stuff in old buildings like this. But the key that's happened here that I didn't mention in the speech is that this area, once upon a time, was in a qualified census tract. It's now moved out of that status, which means that all of the incentives that go along with that go away as of December 31st of 2026. So we have to get this building built and a certificate of occupancy by that date. So that is our full court press and our mission right here. That was what it was about. Okay?
I know we've already voted on things, but I'm going to ask one more question.
Yeah.
How did the hurricane impact the property?
We were very lucky. We had some roof damage. We lost a bunch of rooftop equipment. I think our total damage was like $1 million or less. It was very, very lucky. Right next door on either side of us, it's just the whims of the wind, right? And so we were really blessed in that regard. Thank you. All righty. I'm going to get out of here before I'm here all day. Have a nice one.
Chair Young, there's no items for open agenda. I think Chris is out of the office.
Okay. So I guess we'll move for adjournment.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
it's been moved and second that this meeting be adjourned. See you next meetings, directors.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Thank you, directors.
July
See you next time.